name is Mr. Z. We're going to do another Math Minute. Let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, when doing number one, basically write out 6 zeros as instructed. And then the number one with 6 zeros after it means it would go before. Now I start going left to right, and I'm going to put a comma every 3. So I know that this is going to not be 1,000. 10,000 looks like this. So process of elimination, 1,000,000. All right, number 2. First add, then reduce. So the sum of 3, 9, and 12 is going to be 14. 8 plus 10 plus 2 is going to result in 20. Okay, now I'm going to have to reduce this fraction. So I'm going to look for the common factors between 14 and 20. Then let's go ahead and continue. They're both even, so 2 goes in each. And then I'm going to have to examine, are there any more? Well, 24 times 5 is also. But if I examine this list, the common factors between 14 and 20 are 1 and 2, meaning the biggest is 2. I divide both of them by 2, and watch what happens. 14 divided by 2 is going to be 7. 20 divided by 2 is going to be 10. Right as a decimal. So 61% basically means 61 out of 100, which means 61 divided by 100, which means to go left 2 places, 1, 2. So 61, the sentence at the end of it is a period. 61 point, I go left 2 spots, and I'm left with 0.61. Likewise, to turn it into a percent, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to move it 2 spots over. So it's going to become 47. And then I add the percent sign. The decimal is there, but I omit it because it looks cleaner without it. Number 5. If you added 5 to the product of 4 and 6, you get blank. So the key to understanding this is to know what the product means. The product of 4 and 6 means the answer to a multiplication problem with 4 and 6. Well, that's 24. If you add 5 to the product of 24, I get a problem. 24 plus 5 is going to be 29. Number 6. Fill the pattern by filling in the bottom box. So I have to figure out what the heck goes here. Well, 5 plus 4 is 9. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 4 is 5. Number 7 is asking what number would complete this answer. Now, one way you can do is to guess and check. You can try to plug in a number. You can say, let's say 2 or 3 or 4. But you can also use a variable. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to use 3 plus. Now I'm going to write it 2. When letters next to a variable, you do not have to use a multiplication sign. Equals 17. I'm going to use my order of operations and go in the reverse order. The reason why I'm subtracting first is normally I would have to follow PEMDAS. This is normally the order I go. But since I'm going in the opposite order, I have to start by adding and subtracting. So this is going to turn into 2x equals 14. 2 times x means the opposite is to divide, meaning that this number is going to be 14 divided by 2, which is 7. If I were to plug it back in, 2 times 7 is 14. 3 plus 14 is indeed 17. All right, number 8, rounding. This is a lesson for life. Basically, I have to round it to the underlying place value, meaning it's going to change each time. So you're going to start with your number, 33.28, and I'm going to look at where it's underlined. So I'm going to go ahead and have two spots. I'm going to have 33, and then I'm going to go to the next number, 34. And this is going to represent all of the decimals between 33 and 34. Okay, now let's get a little technical. Halfway between 33 and 34 is going to be $33.50. Now I'm going to ask myself, is $33.28 on the left side, or is it going to be on the right side? 33 and 28 is going to be on the left side. It is closer to 33. So I'm going to rewrite it, and then it turns into a 0, 0. Again, look at this number. Start out with 0.05, and I'm going to increase this number by 1. This is the space between it. Now I have to figure out what number is between these two. To help it, I want to think of it with a 50 and a 60, because the halfway point between these two numbers is going to be 0.05, and halfway between 50 and 60 is going to be 55. Now, which side is going to 56 be on? 56 is going to be slightly bigger than 55, meaning that I'm going to round to 0.06. Hope we're getting it. One more time, how to round 347. So I'm going to go ahead and go 300. Now what would be the next digit? 400. Halfway between it is going to be 350. 347 is less than 350. So that means I'm going to round to 300. This is a guide to rounding. This is why it's actually doing the rules that are employed by mathematicians everywhere.